All
We'll
right,
just
you
see
should
what
mute our
happens.
mics.
I mean, they can hear us. I mean, I could mute us. I'm not gonna do that. Is the mic good? Do I sound good? My setting good? All right, let me just make sure it's on the right one. Cause I gotta try to be like 0.2% legitimate. All right, cool. Oh, that's a good one. Is anyone here? No one's here. No one wants to be here.
We got 3 watching now,
So you
but I think
watching?
that's
It'll go up.
us.
It'll go up. Here, watch. There.
Bro, no lo-fi is making us look real unprofessional.
So like I really want to write my own lo-fi. So if there's anyone who's good at like writing stuff and wants to give me a hand, I'm not
Do
very.
you have Ableton or anything?
No, I don't have Ableton. I have been thinking about getting what's it called? Pro Tools, because that's what I used in the past. That's what I
Oh,
used like
yo,
way
dude,
back in high school. I actually
it's
found
4, dude.
I know. I actually
Let's
found
get this show on
some
the road.
old. I actually found some old like recordings in Pro Tools files and shit that I did like 9 years ago or something like that or more. I think some were from like 2009 or 2010. Crazy stuff.
And welcome to Fresh Oil, the
Oh no, I'm on the wrong
recording
screen. Oh
podcast.
no, everyone sees how big a hack we are. Oh no, they all
No, I'm just saying
know.
the car podcast about music
We're the
recording.
car podcast about being awful at being a car podcast. Um,
Yes, welcome to our
Hello
podcast.
everyone, AE86 Hachi. Hello. I'm on live chat. I'm not on top chat. Um, that looks a little kiltered there. Here, let me fix that. Boom. Look, that looks a little better, right? No, no, nobody.
I mean,
Okay,
dude, it takes me 10 seconds
it's
to
all
catch
right.
up
We'll
watching
get
the
there.
stream.
All right, hello everyone. How are we doing? Corn, my buddy, my good pal. We haven't chatted voice to voice in a while. How are you doing?
Yeah, living the dream, man. I did get the S12 running last weekend, so that's cool. It's not running. It's running okay. I don't know. I think one of my coils isn't firing,
Yeah.
and for sure my fuel injector plugs
Why?
need to be cleaned off, and I need to get actual clips for them instead of just holding them on with a prayer.
So is it like Chinese coil packs or something that you think is your problem here?
I would say yes, but they're NGKs, I'm pretty sure.
Oof. NGKs, yeah.
If anything's wrong
Do you
with
think it's
it,
like a
it's
wiring
probably a
problem?
wiring thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this car has been nothing but wiring problems since I got it.
Oh my god, what the fuck did I knock over? Oh no. Oh boy. I knocked
But I did
I
drive
knocked
it
shit
to the
over.
gas station,
Okay,
so
so
that was
so
cool.
it got on the road.
It got on the road.
It
I drove to the gas
starts.
station. It started after like 3 cranks after
That's not
having not
bad.
started it since
That's not bad.
September. Like the first day of September was the last time it ran.
That ain't bad. You know? I can't complain about that.
Yeah, I was, pretty hyped.
I like that. I'm proud of you, man. You're doing good on that. I know it's dumb electrical shit, which I fucking hate the most. Um,
Yeah, dude. I
ugh.
mean, it took me fucking a month of trying to figure out how to wire my fuel pump to actually get it wired. So.
What, like figuring out like the relay and stuff?
Yeah, dude. Well, just after I put that relay in, like it just wasn't working, and I kept like changing stuff around a little bit, and it still wasn't working. And finally, I had replaced everything but the stock ground to the fuel pump. and so I replaced that.
The last thing you do. It's always the last thing.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you're not gonna
Well,
keep doing shit
you
after you
know,
get
do
it
more
running,
stuff after it's
obviously.
done.
But
Yeah.
there was like nothing left to do. Like if that didn't work, I legitimately don't know what I could have done.
You would have fucking figured it out, man. It's an
Yeah.
adventure. Like that's the thing about working on cars is the adventure. That's the fun.
No, the adventure's the shitty part. The fun is
The
driving
adventure
the
is
car.
the really shitty part, but it's also the
The
fun part.
adventure is the fun part's driving the car.
Well,
Let's not get
it's
it
all
twisted,
supposed to be
you
the
know?
fun part.
Working on cars fucking kind of sucks.
It's all supposed to be the fun part, isn't it?
Yeah, and honestly, it is fun. Like I had fun working on it, especially now that it's in my garage instead of outside.
Yeah, I need to finish doing that and then
Bro,
and then be
it
good.
changes the game.
No, I
went
know.
from like
I gotta.
never working on my shit to I worked on it like every day after work for probably a week.
Yeah, you were
straight,
telling me
just
that.
by
You were
having it
grinding,
inside.
boy. You were grinding, boy.
Yeah. So,
All right, guys.
highly recommend Garage.
That was great. Congratulations, Corn. I'm proud of you. Proud of you and your S12. I need to join you in the not being bad thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
But the other thing that we talked about, and this is for like, I'm not going to say a New Year's resolution because I technically gave up New Year's resolutions back in like 2007 as my New Year's resolution is a great one. And I've upheld it. But I have wanted to just, work on some stuff. And one of the ones was to be more into racing and, professional racing and all that. And I know that we had talked about that together. And we both blew it. See, both of us blew it.
In my defense,
We both missed the two things that have happened so far.
yes, that is true. But I only even knew about one of them, to be fair.
What's up, Brick?
I have never followed rallying at all.
All right.
Uh,
Don't even follow rallying.
main
We're
thing
not
I
even going to
follow
talk
is
about
Formula
rallying here. There's a really cool crash video. If we have time, I'll find that and we'll watch that. That'll be fun. But Clarence, the Reddit is more dry than Tom. What Reddit? I don't know what Reddit you're talking about, Clarence. Any hoozle, like the old man that I am now. Do you feel like an old man now? Like now that you're kind of like going to work every day and all that shit.
Oh, bro, I feel old as shit.
Yeah,
and
it sucks.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because everyone I hang out with is old.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, I'm still the youngest person at my office by like years. And
Same.
And yeah, it kind of sucks. But as we get older,
anyway,
we can stop being shit and learn to watch some racing and get good at things. Exactly. And that's also a part of 2020 is getting better at shit. So one of my goals is to get better at driving. So that's something I'm hoping to work on.
Go autocrossing, fan.
I know.
Get
I need
some
to.
R71s.
So hopefully I will. That'll be fun. That'll be cool. I have a GoPro. I can like fucking put it on shit. It'll be cool. But the Rolex 24-hour race was also this weekend, and there's some notable is that the Corvette, the C8 Corvette, debuted as the C8R, and let's see, we got some Pictures. We got an Acura there. Look at there. Boom.
Let me see some Corvette.
I'm trying to get a good one.
Oh, dude, there's the rear end.
I know.
I'm like way behind you because I'm watching. I can't even see your screen live. I'm like on a.
I know you're
delay.
delayed. I'm trying to find it. I'm not finding anything.
I'm seeing. Yeah, dude, what the fuck? I wonder if there was like a media ban on good pictures of the Corvette.
Yeah, no good pictures of the Corvette. None. Maybe they
wouldn't let him run in camouflage, so GM just paid off the press to not put out any good pictures of the C8.
I'm so stoked for the C8 though.
All right, you know what? Put your tinfoil hat on. The C8R isn't real.
I don't know. We saw the butt of it. Look at that. Looks like it. That looks like it. Right?
I'm not seeing it, bro.
This?
I'm not seeing it.
This blob?
Is that? I can't tell.
It's gotta
It's a
be
spy
it.
shot, dude. That thing's in
It's a spy
camouflage.
shot. It's
Dude,
in
that's
fucking
that's a
hyper reflect.
C7,
Look at
bro.
right there.
Nah, dude, that's the NSX, isn't it?
No, the yellow one has to be it. Look at there it is again. No, I think that actually is an LMP car there.
Okay, that one for sure is where it's next to a red car. What's that? That red car is an Audi.
I'm trying to fucking
Dude,
find
either
it,
way,
man.
fucking failure
FEMA?
on the behalf of whatever website you're on, dude.
Dude, I'm on the drive.
Well, fuck the drive, dude. Let's see if like Speed Hunter.
Oh, here we go. There we go. And it looks fucking sick. Why did this take so long? Look at this.
Why was that not the header?
Why was that not the first picture? Look how cool this is.
Dude, that does look pretty fucking sick.
I love that about endurance racing in general, or just any kind of, I mean, really any good racing. You're gonna have a ton of debris stuck to the front of the car, but endurance racing, it's like, you know, times that much times that you're running, obviously. So,
dude, endurance racing is some of the coolest shit ever, and I actually have been to the Rolex 24 at Daytona.
Really,
a long time ago. Yeah, I was.
That sounds
like
really cool.
10 or 12 years old, dude. It was the coolest fucking thing ever.
I think
like I stayed up almost all night. I slept for like 2 hours in the front seat of the car, like, because my family lived in Florida for a little bit, like right when I was born. So we had like some friends in Tampa, which is pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So we like went to Tampa, and then we went to the race, and it was so cool. Like the cars are fucking cool, and I don't know if they still are, but back then they were so lax with shit. Like up until like we went for the whole race weekend, and up until the race actually started, you could just like go into the garage areas and like look at shit. You couldn't like go into the team's garage, but you could just
be like
walk
around
down,
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think
that.
Dude,
I got so like being little like fucking 11-year-old. I got so many like autographs from drivers. I was so stoked because it is like it's the first race of the season, and it's kind of like an all-star race a little bit. You know, you get good drivers from a lot of other series coming out for the 24.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really fucking cool.
No, that sounds really cool. I just feel like as like a 10, 11-year-old, I might not appreciate it to the level that it should be appreciated at.
Nah, dude, I was honestly like followed racing closer back then than I do.
Yeah? What were you into back then?
Mostly Formula One, but dude, I had like an Auto Week subscription, and they would have like coverage of everything in the back, and like if there was racing on TV, I would fucking watch it. Like I would watch NASCAR and shit. I would always watch as much of like the endurance racing as I could. Formula One was like the big one. Like I was super into racing.
So something to I think the C8R looks awesome. I really like the C8. To jump back to it. I don't know if
sorry to go off on a tangent.
No, it's fine, but we're still talking about the race, so we could get right back to it. It's easy. It's all right. So I think, and Clarence said dead ass though. I do think that's the thing about the C8 is because it's mid-engined, all the proportions are so much different to the C7. So.
Oh yeah, it looks like a totally different car, and it does look super fucking good. Yo, shout out! Who's this video from? We're gonna get, dude. You can't play a live YouTube
I
video.
can. It's from Lanky Turtle.
Sure.
Dude, it's fine. We're good.
All right. Well, shout out Lanky Turtle.
Lanky Turtle. This is Lanky Turtle's video. I have everything's here. People can see.
All right.
You can subscribe to him if you want. Look, I'll leave it like that. Is that better?
I mean, I don't know, dude.
Anyway,
like, I guess
I think it's
people are watching this. I shouldn't be upset.
All 10 people. Wow. I think with the it looks weird from certain angles just because people are so used to a Corvette looking front engine. But I think a lot of mid-engine cars look weird from some angles because they are weird, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of.
Except for the AW11 MR2, looks good.
I love AW11s, man.
That's
AW11s are
probably the
so
only mid-engine
good.
car that doesn't have a bad angle.
Man, AW11s are so good, man. I remember when they were dirt cheap. That was the best. I should have bought one.
Dude, one of my friends in high school had 3 different AW11s, and they were so fucking fun.
Dude, they were
I got to drive a
cheap
couple
then,
of them.
too. They were like under $2,000.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting expensive, but he found banger deals on all of them,
Yeah.
dude. He got, like, one was like they were all, like, door knock deals, dude. He would, like, find an AW11 in someone's yard and, like, knock on their door and buy it for, like, a G.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get it for like 1,000, like, yeah, you're killing it there. And they're just fun. I mean, to me, it's kind of like the mid-engine AE86, really.
Oh, super. I mean, the suspension.
It's kind of
is
different because
totally
it's way more
different,
Corolla than it
but
is
it definitely
AE86.
is. Well, A86 is.
I know, but it's more
anyway,
front-engine Corolla.
Yeah, it's more.
Front-wheel
it's
drive
more
Corolla.
A84.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, they are 8.6 like in a lot of ways, like super light, super nimble. Like they're super fucking cool cars, and they have 4AGEs. So
Yeah, I love them. Anytime I see them at meets or something. I always check them out. They're super cool. But yeah, dude, C8, another cool mid-engine car. I'm excited to start seeing these around on the roads. Honestly.
yeah. I mean,
I saw my first Audi e-tron, or
Ford Expedition.
yeah, I guess that's what it would be.
400 horse.
E-tron, which I don't love. I don't love that it's e-tron. But whatever.
yeah, kind of a lame name.
Everyone goes with these like dumb fucking, dude. Fucking.
Yeah, I was in traffic today behind a Hyundai Ioniq with
Yeah,
a
the Ionic's a bad
Terrible.
name. Dude, how about the
Terrible
fucking
name.
what is it like? How about like the Nissan? Is it like Kicks or something?
I don't even know what Nissan makes nowadays, to be
Yeah.
honest with
I
you.
mean, it is sad. I agree. No, I agree. It's sad. I mean,
That's
I'm not
coming
an
from a dude who's
I'm not a
who
Nissan fan. You know that, but
loves
like it
Nissan.
is sad. There's no reason that they should be as sad as they are now, but.
I'm a huge Nissan
Yeah.
fan, and I don't even know what they're doing.
But I mean, speaking of shitty names though, and I love Volkswagen, but the names of like all these electrics are fucking blowing my mind. Like if we really,
I mean, their
Oof.
SUV names have always been kind of ass too. Like Tiguan is not.
it's
really a good
weird.
name.
It's just
It's
weird.
Hard,
It's hard to
just
say.
It looks hard to pronounce.
Tiguan and Touareg, and like the thing
Yeah.
is that like I've talked to my mom about the cars before because when she was shopping, she was looking for like a compact crossover or something around there, blah blah blah, and so she was always just super confused because she's like, which one's the Tiguan, which one's the Touareg? It's like when you make them, I don't know. I feel like some brands they really wrap themselves up with keeping the same letters and making them like weird like that. And it's
Yeah.
hard to even tell what car is what because they have such weird names.
Dude, okay, if we're gonna talk about car names, we gotta address the elephant in the room, and that is why the fuck do like so many Japanese brands just have part numbers on their cars? It is getting confusing, and BMW does it too.
I think that's.
With just,
I don't
like,
think
numbers
that's.
and
Well,
shit.
I don't think that's necessarily the cars themselves. I think that's more the fan bases that have come up
No,
with the
but like
designations.
think about it, dude. In Japan, they had Sylvias. In the U.S., they had 240SX.
Yeah.
In Japan, they had Fair Ladies. In the U.S., they had 240Zs. I'm trying to think, dude, and think about like all the Lexuses, dude. They're just like GH450 and shit.
Yeah,
like,
they
that's
kind
a
of just
terrible
make
name.
up names at some point,
And
and
I
then
mean,
they
they are
name
big.
cars like 4 times, because there are cars that are like three different Toyotas are basically the same Toyota, and then they have the Lexus version, which is basically the same Toyota, and they all have different names, and you have like 6
Yeah.
different names for one car.
It's like,
I
yeah,
totally
dude,
feel
just-
that for sure. It happens.
I'm-
It's bad.
And, like-
I think a bigger elephant in the corner on weird names. How about the fucking Hummer, man? That's a blowjob.
Yeah, dude, I said that when we were talking about on the
It's
last
a
podcast.
blowjob. Hummer's a blowjob.
Nobody. How did that sell? How did that
Look
go,
at all right.
go
We're on
down like
YouTube
the
here.
Subaru Fucks?
Look at
The
Roadshow.
Subaru Fucks
Look
and
at
the Hummer
Verified.
are the same thing.
Verified. This is like a verified YouTube channel. Hummer. That's it. Like, come on. All right. So
nobody wants to bring it up.
So this is the official Super Bowl teaser. You have to wait for the Super Bowl to watch the official Hummer ad.
Yo, who you got?
I got
in the Super Bowl.
I got
Off topic.
I got Chiefs. I mean, no. Sorry. I got 49ers.
You got Niners?
I got Niners. I got Niners. I just think they're a more complete team. Okay? And if that's a lame choice, say it as you will. I think Mahomes is a much more exciting and electric quarterback. I think that offense is way better. Not way better. I think that offense is better. I just don't think the Chiefs as a whole, especially with Andy Reid, who I'm convinced is cursed, I don't think they have the last bit of oomph, but I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I honestly don't know a ton about either of the teams. I remember the Niners kicked the shit out of the Bucks. I think the Chiefs are going to take it, though. I just have a feeling.
I don't think
most
picking,
people that know about football have been saying.
I don't think picking either team is stupid. You know, I think they have a pretty fair shot, and that probably means it's going to be a blowout, and I'm an idiot. So that's my Super Bowl thought. But this is the electric.
Yeah, off topic.
The electric Hummer truck. So we'll play this real quickly.
Yeah, I want to see. I haven't seen this yet. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna go back. You might have seen a glimpse of what it just said. All right. I'm gonna start.
1,000 horsepower will sound like this? What the fuck, dude? No. There's no way it's gonna. Actually, no. It's totally gonna have 1,000 horsepower. It's the worst part.
No, what is this fucking ad?
Jesus Christ! In a car, they're just gonna sell to people.
Dude, it keeps going though. Like, this is the problem.
Bro, this thing is ugly as shit. The Hummer EV, and then there's a.
I think it's kind of, it's cool in that crazy way. Yeah, the last one.
Dude,
the last one's stupid.
Though.
The last one's stupid.
It's so.
Wait till you finish it. Watch the whole thing. Read all the words, and then we will talk.
11,500 pounds of torque. What the fuck?
How did you like it? How did you like the new Hummer?
Like,
what is your opinion?
It's ugly as fuck. And I haven't even seen the whole thing.
All right.
Just from that front end, I can already tell you it's ugly as fuck.
So,
I think it will probably be the size of like a single wide trailer. And
I hope so. That would be sweet.
It has enough torque to move a mountain.
Okay. And are those your final thoughts on it? Gay. What the fuck?
I mean, those
EV
are my
Hummer.
initial impressions. Like, those are the first things I can think of after seeing that ad.
Is there like a good clear shot without all the shit? Oh, there we go. Boom. There we go. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't hate it. I really don't hate it, and I'm gonna say I don't hate it because most new trucks look terrible right now, and I think this somehow looks better than like the terrible that we have. Because at least they're like trying.
Dude.
At least they're like trying to be kind of futuristic-y or whatever. Whereas like the Super Duty F series, they all have looked the same since fucking 1993 or something.
Nah, but they look different now. The grills are
the grill's stupid now. No, the grill's fucking dumb now. But like looking at this, like because
they have the aerodynamic properties of a house.
All right, so from what I know about the new electric Hummer, is that it's a truck, a pickup truck. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it's not an SUV. So there is that. It's almost definitely a crew cab because it has to have a huge interior with like a tiny bed. That's my guess. Okay? And I think it's genius. Now, however, I think it's fucking retarded. Because
Bro, I mean,
1,000 fucking horsepower, 0 to 60. It doesn't even matter the numbers. Fuck the numbers. 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. In what is assumingly going to be like 7,000, 8,000, some fucking crazy weight.
bro, no, I mean, look at this thing, dude. This truck clearly weighs
It's
10,000 pounds.
It's gonna
This thing is
be
a semi.
massive.
This thing is a semi that goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, dude. I don't want one of these things anywhere
And this
near
is
me on the
and
road,
this is what
because that thing's gonna be fast as shit, and there's no way the brakes are gonna be that good.
So this is half of my argument, okay? So my first half, or not argument, discussion. My first half of the discussion is that electric vehicles in general are just going to make cars so stupidly quick. And just like all of these segments, they're going to be like probably unsafe how fast some of these cars are. I don't know. I don't know who it was who reviewed the Taycan. I think it was Chris Harris. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. One of those popular internet, reviewers reviewed the Taycan, and I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. So you can fucking suck my dick. And he said that it was probably not safe for regular people to drive a car like that, just because of how ridiculously quick and deceptively fast they are.
And think about that weighing, I mean, even
thousands of
10,000
pounds more than anything else.
This will weigh 3 times as much as a Taycan.
I mean, whatever it weighs, it's gonna weigh much. It's gonna weigh many.
I'll be honest, dude. Like, I think it's unsafe to sell Hellcats to regular people.
I think there are a few cars that we can definitely agree with. I mean, I really just look at like an EcoBoost F-150 is way fucking fast for what it is. Like those are fucking quick ass trucks. You put a tune on those things, like you do a little bit to those, and you have the 4-wheel drive one or whatever, like from a dig, you're gonna like monster on people. And it's unexpected. And they weigh so much, and like I don't think the braking is like really amazing on them. Like I'm worried about that.
Dude, I mean,
I'm worried about that aspect.
When something gets that heavy, like, dude, have you ever seen a semi lock it up on the highway?
I've been behind a semi that jackknifed because and I don't know if you guys know how jackknifing works. Jackknifing is when the trailer, and if you didn't know this, the trailers on semis have brakes. Over a certain weight, I think trailers have to have brakes. I'm not sure.
Dude, trailers.
Regular car trailers have them. Like the ones you get at U-Haul, their thing's fucking shitty, but like whatever. Anyway, semi-trailers, they have brakes. And what happened was the connector that goes to the semi came loose, or the wiring was faulty or whatever. The guy brakes and the trailer doesn't. So what happens is all the weight of the trailer keeps pushing, and then it forces the truck to spin all the way to the side, and it basically just spins out and crashes like crazy out of nowhere. And that's what happened. That was right in front of us. Like, me and my dad, we were driving up to New Hampshire to go fishing, and we were literally like the vehicle that was like behind that. It was crazy. And it's scary too. That was fucking scary. But off topic. That was really fucking off topic. You should have stopped me, dude.
No, dude,
you just let me
all
go.
Good, bro. Tangent.
You just let me tangent hard there.
Good.
Anyway, I just think that like regular trucks and SUVs and I mean regular cars in general, like most shit can do 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds now. which for
God, that's so fast.
which for like for daily driving and just regular people, right? Like your mom, your dad, regular fucking people, non-enthusiasts, people who don't care about going fast, they don't care about handling, they don't care about any of that shit, right? 6 seconds is a fucking missile for just driving around. Like that's fast, you know? That wasn't fast. That was really, really fast like 10, 20 years ago. Nowadays, it's like, that's just what cars are. Like, the cars are bigger than ever, heavier than ever, and they're faster than ever. That's what scares me.
Yeah,
But I'm scared of that, not for just electrics, like regular vehicles in general.
Yeah.
We're making engines.
just like,
We're making engines that are so efficient, and they make so much fucking power and shit. I mean, like I'm saying, the EcoBoost F-150s, like those are missiles.
Yeah.
Those things are so fast. If you don't think they're fast, like they're fast as hell, man.
dude, Dodge Challengers are fucking missiles.
Challengers,
dude. It's a
I mean,
4,000-pound car, dude.
There's those are more than 4,000 pounds. I think those are like over 5. Those are heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are fucking heavy.
even if it's 4,000
Whatever it is.
pounds,
So
that's an insanely heavy car.
So
to go
obviously with
that
the
fast.
Hummer, and with the stats that it has, the 1,000 horsepower, I don't really care because it's an electric motors and the way they deliver power is different. And
11,000.
so the 11,500 foot-pounds, I need to do a little bit more research into that, and I'll do that, I guess. And if anyone wants to know, ask me, or do your own fucking research, I guess. I'm pretty sure.
Or research it right
I'm
now.
pretty sure that's like the instantaneous torque, like the second it starts moving at 0 RPM, which isn't really a usable torque. Like that's not like the torque at 2,000 RPM when you're like rolling, you know, something like that. Like it's not an important number in that in the regards to that. I mean, it's an electric fucking pickup truck. It's going to have so much torque. It doesn't matter what the number is, really. If I'm frank with you, I don't think the number matters.
Okay, so this little chart that I'm looking at right now
All right.
says that
Send it
for
over.
like electric motors. I'm taking a snip right now, dude. Hold up. Fuck, snipping tool. Where'd you go? Oh, there you go.
Dude, they're getting rid of snipping tool.
They keep saying that, but it's still
It's
here.
I know. My homeboy's still trooping. I'm gonna miss him. I'm gonna miss him.
They can't kill snip
Big
tool.
Big Cheese says it's gonna feel like a roller coaster taking off. It really will.
It's gonna be, yeah. I mean, 3 seconds. I've never been in a car that fast. I don't think. I've been in a car that does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds.
So I'm gonna don my fucking dweeb glasses here as an engineer.
Please do.
As an engineer.
Shout out engineeringtoolbox.com for this chart.
I've seen this chart before. I love this website. This is actually a very useful website. Even if you're not an engineer or an engineering student or whatever, there's a lot of interesting, useful stuff that it's pretty intuitive if you just use your brain a little bit. You don't have to be a genius. But so basically this is just showing how electric motors at 0 RPM, which is I'm blowing my mind, stall torque or stall torque is what that's called. So at 0 RPM, you get maximum torque always. You just do, because that's just how they work. And then your power curve kind of, as it shows, takes off later on. I think with the Hummer, that 11,500 foot-pounds, I don't think that's the usable number. I definitely don't think that's like the usable number to the road. I'm not sure,
dude, there's
though.
no way, dude. That thing would blow the tires.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I think, regardless of what that fucking number is, this is an electric pickup truck. It's going to have as much torque as you need. Like, it literally will. I mean, it's ridiculous what what torque we have in fucking diesel pickup trucks now. F-350 Super Duty diesels, they make like 950 foot-pounds of torque. Like from the factory. Like that's something you can just buy at a dealership with as a regular person. That's not like something special to buy. 950 foot-pounds of torque. It's 1,000 foot-pounds of torque is basically what you're working with. And pretty much every electric truck, or the top of the line ones like this, they're gonna have over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, and it's gonna be more controllable torque because you can just control electric motors better. That's just a fact. So to that regard, I'm gonna flip this from shitting on the electric pickup trucks and fast pickup trucks in general, and I'm going to talk about why I think this will work and why I think this is genius. I think they're going to sell 1 million of these. And the reason I think they're going to sell 1 million of these is think back to when the Hummer, the original H1, H2, H3, think of when those were out when you were a kid. So you were pretty young when the H1 came out, because I think that was 98 or 99 or something.
Yeah, I don't really remember the H1.
And those, they all, honestly,
the H2 and the H3.
Honestly, no one really had
didn't
those.
sell as well. The H2 sold.
H2, they sold a lot. You know the H2 for sure. Now, think of
and the H3.
Think of where the kind of person who actually had an H2 and where they lived and where they worked and stuff. Like the people who owned those were like dentists who drove 10 miles to the office, like they were not, people like putting in crazy miles because they got fucking 12 miles per gallon or something, like they were people who like just didn't really give a shit about that. They like thought it was cool. They thought it was, this piece of, I don't know what you want to call it, economic flexing, I guess. And
yeah, it was a flex.
And it didn't really matter. It didn't matter if it got 8 miles per gallon, 5 miles per gallon. It didn't matter. It was someone driving to the office 8 miles and back, and that was it. And to me, that's why, like, oh, this will fucking work as an electric, because even if they like just put car shit in it and it's like super inefficient because it's big and boxy and heavy and the range is like garbage, like 100 miles or something, like that's fine. People will still fucking buy that. I think
that's probably, yeah, I mean,
because it's not their only car. It's never going to be their only car.
When the first Teslas were coming out, everybody was super about range, and it
didn't matter.
Dude. Mad people in the city drive Teslas.
I think there's some statistic that like 200 miles, like 99% of people don't drive more than 200 miles in one trip in a year. Like that's it. Like 200 miles is usually like the longest trip that somebody drives.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to think of like my longest regular drive.
Like, and I'm sure, and there are definitely those of you who drive more than that regularly, and that's not to say that that's wrong though. Like most people don't need that. Like for me,
the longest trip I take regularly is 102 miles.
So for me, my commute is like 8 miles or 7 or 8 miles there and back, right? I don't really like do that much. Like I'm an introvert. I like to just go to work, come home, do my thing, whatever. Maybe I'll do errands, but it's around town. It's not much. I'm not adding. Maybe I'm adding 10 miles a day at best. Most days, nothing, right? Weekends, if I don't do anything, I don't drive. Like, I don't really drive all that much at all. I could, in my mind, the perfect car for me would be a plug-in hybrid with like 40 miles all-electric range. Because I could go to and from work without using a touch of gas at all. But if I had to drive more, that's not a problem. I don't even have to plug in. I just go to a gas pump. Like, that's the ultimate to me, and I don't think that the version of that car that I want exists yet. So that kind of sucks. But, like, once you get an electric and you're like, oh, it has 200 miles range, 300 miles range.
You know what that would be really good for? MR2 Revival.
It probably will happen. I think Toyota's talked
plug-in
about it.
hybrid with a 40-mile.
I don't think it won't be.
Would be a perfect.
I don't think. I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll see though, because Toyota is going pretty ham on hybrids. I think they're gonna make their base cars all hybrids within a couple years. So, at least hybrid. So nothing's gonna be truly ICE from them shortly. But going back to the Hummer and all that. None of that matters though, because honestly, this thing will probably have like 300 miles range because it's huge and you can just put 1 billion batteries in it.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of why it's going to weigh 10,000
It's going to weigh 1 million pounds.
It's be so big is to make room for all those batteries. You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty much useless off-road, like entirely.
Yeah, dude, I mean, you couldn't drive it through a puddle probably because you'd like a deep puddle because you'd ruin your batteries.
I would bet it's pretty useless off-road. This thing will tow a fucking house though. Cool. I think it's cool. I think it'll be neat. I'm interested to see them when they come out. I think it's weird because I kind of feel like GM is doing so much shit like really dumb and wrong and terrible, but they're like falling into like these really good ideas with like the C8. And I think I think once like we started hearing about all these crazy, EVs and the ranges that they can get and whatever, I was like, oh, a Hummer makes total sense. And it does. It really does. So what was the next one? Jumping off back to another.
Oh, hold on.
I closed it.
Before we jump off the Hummers.
Dude, I closed it.
Off the Hummers real quick. Tesla truck or Hummer? Which one are you taking?
Hummer.
I'm taking the Tesla.
You're taking the Tesla Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Ooh. Now why? Why do you want the Tesla Cybertruck? Because you think it'll be more different, or do you think it'll be more like the Tesla stuff is cooler than what you expect from Chevy?
So truly,
go ahead.
I have no interest in either of them, but I think the Tesla truck is less ugly, and I think it is significantly smaller.
Okay, I think that's fair. To me, I'd rather have the Hummer because I think the Hummer looks better, and I think it will be a more realistic vehicle, like a more... I feel like some stuff Tesla does is almost like a dream of what cars could be, and they do it anyway, and it like kind of works in some ways, but doesn't in other ways. And I feel like, GM is just kind of way too realistic. And I kind of think with a truck, I want that. However, I would expect that the Hummer interior, even though it's an EV and whatever, it has to be like, oh, I'm sitting in a Chevy right now. Whereas you go and sit in the Cybertruck and you're like, oh, I'm sitting in the fucking future right now. Like, that's what Elon's going to do with the Cybertruck.
The hood of the Hummer did look suspiciously like a Silverado hood.
I think it'll be pretty similar. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if it's just them being like, hey, this is our EV truck chassis, because they're all going to be modular. Every company's going to do that shit. They're not dumb. And they're gonna, that could be their way to introduce it. You have your flagship. It's a GMC. It says GMC. There's a GMC badge still on it. It's just a little one on it. So it'll cost more. It's gonna have higher margins, and it's kind of a free chance for them to take a bunch of risk trying at that. And I really think that'll just work. I think it's gonna work for them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, dude. I'm not hating on it for sure.
So jumping to more electric pickup truck news, we have
more electric.
Rivian and Lincoln. Rivian is apparently supposed to be building Ford's electric Lincoln SUV for them at their plant. I don't know when that's really supposed to happen. I didn't really read this. And I thought that was interesting. But, I mean, this just brings me to Rivian, because Rivian is I think, the most interesting of all of the electric trucks right now. I think it looks kind of fucking cool. All of the like the specs and stuff that they're saying, like they seem like realistic. Like nothing about it seems
What are the specs?
I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a googly oogling. But it's like it just
Yeah, I want to get a little more details. Like, is Ford building a factory for Rivian in the U.S.?
no.
Is Rivian
So
just designing it?
Rivian is they're gonna make their own trucks, and I
Okay.
guess their trucks have like a modular like skateboard style chassis. I think is how they call it, because basically all the batteries are just at the bottom, and
Okay.
basically what's on top is just whatever vehicle you want. And so I don't
Is this the same company that makes the supercar that Richard Hammond crashed?
know. That's Rimac or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry, they both start with a R and make electric shit. So I'm sitting here thinking about this like boutique supercar maker
No.
trying to make like mass-produced pickup trucks.
Uh no, but I think so they're just going to help build them some shit, And I think there's just going to be we're in a very interesting period right now where we have all the big names, or they're starting to partner up with these smaller names. Rivian seems to be getting a lot of attention from Ford, which is interesting, and that's good for them. And it shows that Ford is very interested in this. And then obviously they have the Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E, which we've discussed and talked about the name, and you can have your opinion on that. I don't like the name, but I understand why they're doing the name. I think we're just in a really interesting period where all of these companies are jumping to electrics, and I think it's going to be a very precise decision on making what the masses end up wanting, because obviously people know what a Tesla is. They know what to expect from a Tesla, but tons of Americans don't want a Tesla. They want a Ford or a Chevy or what, or even a Toyota or whatever. They just want anything. They want cheap, really, is what they want. And
Yeah, what people don't like is change.
yeah,
People want to buy this cars from the same old
So-
manufacturer. They don't want to buy some new shit.
I think we're in a very interesting period because car makers have this chance to really change their image in a very, very radical way. All right? And I'm going to use this as a jumping off point to the next one that I had. I should have found an article for this. I didn't know this was a fucking YouTube video. Whatever, I'll just pause it there. Anyway, so I think that the companies need to have a very, very good chance to reimagine themselves with their electric vehicles. And I think that Honda's done a really great job, especially with the Honda E.
I don't know anything about
really
this
some
Honda
pictures.
E, but looking at this picture of it right now, it looks a lot like it doesn't look like that much of a reimagining as much as maybe Honda back to their roots a little bit, which is like a very small, efficient city car.
Yeah.
That looks very. Even the lines kind of remind me of a first generation Civic.
I think that's they talked about it in this video. I've already watched this video.
Yeah, so just
So this is-
give us your.
This is
opinion
by
based
Car
on
Pervert.
what
You can check the video out. I already watched this video. I thought it was neat. I enjoy the Honda E. I think it looks pretty nice. However, the concept photos looked way better. Like look up the concept photos, or like the first like renders or prototype or whatever.
Oh, I think I remember.
It looked
seeing
way
those.
cooler. All right, and I think that if Honda can capture the essence of this, the essence of the Honda E, and use that in the rest of their all-electric lineup, and use that to differentiate themselves from their gas cars, Because right now their gas cars are super aggressive, angular, shouty. I mean, look at like a regular Civic. Like a regular Civic is super aggressive nowadays.
Well, that's a lot of the design language that the industry's been
Yeah,
going
yeah, in
to for the
general. Yeah.
last 15 years, but I think seeing all these, with the exception of the Cybertruck, most of these new electric do all seem to be a little bit softer, a little bit rounder.
I think Ford has pretty much
Uh,
taken the stance of no, we're not going to do that, and I do think that's very Ford of them. The Mach
I
E,
think it's
the
good
Mach E
too,
looks
bro,
like
because
a
like
Ford.
honestly, shit is getting too. There's too many hexagons in
The Mach
cars
E
these
looks like a
days, man.
Ford. I'm sure the electric Ford pickup truck will look like a Ford.
But even Ford's got hexagons in the grill, dude. Like their grill's all fucking angular
Yeah, it's
now.
all modern and shit.
Yeah, but like this Honda and the Hummer and the Rivian all kind of had like a
They
little bit
go
of a
for
more
that like
round style
sleeker,
to it.
rounder, and
And Teslas do
I
too.
kind of dig
Teslas
it
do too.
because I feel, especially with where we are right now, where this is new stuff. Like, make it feel like I'm in the fucking future. Make me feel like it's 2090. You know?
Yeah, I agree, dude. I like cars that are look that feel like you're in the future according to that time. Like that's why I love the S12 so much because I think it's just so future according to the 80s.
Yeah. No, I
You know
like
what I
that
mean?
because you can time capsule
So
it,
so
like the DeLorean too.
put me in the future according to 2020 right now. Yeah.
And I think
Because for a long time, cars kind of have been looking in the past, dude. Like the in the late 2000s, all those muscle car redesigns to like square bodies to be like reminiscent of the 60s.
totally, yeah. The Mustangs, Camaro, I mean the Challenge, all of them, all three of them did it. They all did it. They all reimagined it as like the 60s styles.
They brought the Camaro back to bring back
Mhm.
the 60s style.
Exactly.
Like,
And that's pretty
yeah,
bold.
so I
But
yeah, and that was like a huge thing, but I think it is cool to see some cars that finally that are still looking towards the future but don't have hexagons and creases all over them. You know how cars all have like
yeah,
creases on the
tons of it.
fenders and
Yeah.
shit? Like, I don't like that,
I
dude. It's too busy. It's too
if
complicated.
Honda
Like, this Honda looks super fucking good.
totally. If Honda can take this, and I don't think this is perfect because I think the concept was better. If Honda can take this and then just go like, okay, this is how our electrics look. Let's make our electric compact crossover that will sell a fucking fucking million billion of them. Make it look something like that. Like stand out, differentiate yourself from everyone else because if you just look like I think people are over the it looks like an electric car thing. I think people are into that now.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think people have gotten totally over that. Personally, I'm not super into it. I think what Honda did here with the painting, the fake kind of grill thing, like that's nothing actually there. It's just painted like that. I think that's smart. It gives it a face. I think that looks better. I but I most people are over it now. They don't care and they think it's cool even. Um I can see Ford going that way and Honda going this way, but at the same time, who knows? Maybe the Honda E is literally the only one they do like this, and then they just make the Civic an electric, and it's just the Civic that's electric. That's very
I
possible.
think we might get a little bit of both
I think we're gonna have a
because a
crossover period
couple
at least.
companies already kind of got hip to that. Nissan has the Leaf. Do they have an electric version of the
You cut out there a little bit, bud.
Oh, so Nissan has like a standalone electric car in the Leaf. Do they have like an electric Sentra?
Well, we're at the period.
Does anybody have that? Because Chevy has like had like the Volt as a standalone electric. Do they have an electric version of a regular car in the pipeline?
Well, we're at the period right now where both have to coexist because we can't be fully electric right now. It's just not feasible for infrastructure and
Oh yeah. But
materials and
you
whatever.
know what I'm just saying, like as far as having both an electric version of the regular car and a car that's only electric. Like if Honda were to do the Honda E and
I
the
can I
uh,
tell you my thought on that actually?
yeah,
So for the longest time, and this was when hybrids were kind of the thing, when Priuses were in, and that was the future, and everything was going to be hybrid, right? And one of the complaints on that was that hybrids looked like hybrids. They didn't look like regular cars.
yeah.
They looked like
I
fucking
remember the
Priuses
Civic
and whatever.
Hybrid came out.
And then
Civic
so
Hybrid.
then the companies go like, "All right, I'll make the Civic Hybrid." And no one fucking bought them. No one bought them. No one cared. More people bought the Prius.
Hmm.
So I think the automakers are going, well, fuck what they say. They don't know what they want. We know what they want. We have decades of data. We know where the industry's going. The world's more connected than ever. Like, we know what people want. It, it's tough, though. It's
But at the
tough to
same
say.
time, like I think it does make sense to have a like if we talk specifically about Honda, the Honda E is a sick car,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it makes sense to have a bigger version so that someone that wants an electric car but has a kid can get like a sedan, and still have a Honda to
So,
get.
but that's the wonder here is, does Honda release this and this is it? This is their foot stepping into EVs. They see what happens and then they iterate off that and then make everything electric. Or do they branch it off and make it its own thing? I see Volkswagen is clearly doing the branching off technique where they're making they're going to have Golfs made at the same time as the ID3, which is the same size. It's going to be it's not an electric version of a Golf. It's its own vehicle, but it's the electric analog of the Golf, we will say. Um,
Okay.
and you're going to see Volkswagen do that. You're going to see Ford do that. You're going to see a lot of companies do that for a while, I think. At least for a bit. Toyota, you might not really, because I think Toyota is going to go, they're so ham on like waiting on technologies that I almost feel like you're just going to see the Camry, and then the next one's going to be all Camrys are just hybrids, and that's just how it is. And then a couple after that, all Camrys are just electrics, and that's just how it is. Like, I think they're going to
Yeah.
slowly transition to that rather than have, build up these two separate brands, because you have to look at, the years of these brand names. People know what a Civic is. People know what a Camry is. People know what a 4Runner is, or whatever car you can name. People know what certain cars are. People don't know what these electric cars are. So you almost have companies taking a risk on trying to get people into these electrics, but then you're almost abandoning your old names. And I'm interested to see where companies have that crossover, because there's going to be a point where there's no more gas cars. There just won't be eventually, I'd
Yeah.
imagine. Hey, I've been wrong today, so who knows? But there's going to be a point where there are only electric cars, and I would imagine that companies would want to be using their strongest names at that point. So what happens there? Like,
I
is the
think there's
Camry
there's
not
gonna
it?
be time to figure it out too. Like, it companies do kill off cars eventually. You can't buy a Lincoln Continental anymore, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of them do get brought back at some point. Like the Dart was gone for a while, and then it's come back in a bunch of different
Mm-hmm.
forms and stuff. So, I could see like a lot of iconic names dying. I mean, maybe not like Honda's been making the Civic forever. They'll probably never stop at this point. Probably the same with like Corolla
Well, I just kind of
and
wonder, like, say they do
like
make,
Ford doesn't make the Crown Victoria anymore. I think if anyone's likely to drop names, it's probably Ford
but
because they do that shit all
yeah,
the
I
time.
could see Ford totally. How about this scenario though, where say a Honda releases I think the Honda E is supposed to be smaller. It's a city car, so it's
Yeah,
smaller. Um, whatever the electric Civic is analog's going to be called, let's call it Tim. All right, the Honda Tim. So you have the Honda Tim and the Honda Civic. They're being sold at the same time, right? You know, people who want an electric, they'll get the Tim. People who want the gas, they'll get the Civic, blah, blah, blah. They'll sell those for a number of years and a number of generations side by side. Eventually, it'll get to the point where one or the other is not feasible for the market, assumably the Civic, because it's the gas engine. And so what if they just like made the next generation Tim, but then they just said like, oh no, this is the Civic now and the Tim's dead. Here we go. Have fun. Bye-bye. Like I could totally see that happening.
Yeah, a bunch of companies have definitely done things like that before. And actually,
like, no, this is the Civic. You were wrong.
Well, I mean, think about like muscle car names that got turned into shit. Think about the '80s Charger.
Hey,
you know
my buddy owns
That's
two
like
of
a totally
those.
different car. I mean, they're cool, but like they're not a Charger. You know?
I mean, yeah, but it says Charger and it says Shelby.
And dude, think about if the Ford Probe was
True.
actually the Mustang like they planned on it being.
That's a good point.
So Ford would definitely do some shit like that.
I agree. That's a good point. I don't know. It's going to be cool to see. I want to see these, but we're probably not going to get them. So we're also not getting the ID3.
Yeah, that sucks, dude, because that's a super cool car. I would daily the fuck out of that thing. I would autocross that shit, too. That would be such a cool autocross car.
Yeah, but it has shit range. It gets like 137 miles range. Like, what gives?
Dude, we just went over this. 137 miles would get me done.
No, I do agree with you. I think I'm at the point in my life where I'm realistic with how much I drive, and I think I could make do with that. I mean, what? Like, rent a car if you need to go further? Like, I mean, it's not that bad.
Yeah, or like if I want to go like on a drive that's like more than 130 miles, it's probably just a drive for fun, and so I'll probably take the S12.
Yeah, or you know, if you're going on a road trip or something, it's like rent something and keep the miles off your car anyway. I know people who, whenever they drive far, they rent a car just to keep the miles off their car, and you know, it's just easy to compartmentalize it. Did someone say S12? Yeah, Corn did. Corn's an S12 boy.
You know I got that S12 boy.
Need bigger batteries. I don't know. I mean,
I think a bigger battery would kind of defeat the purpose of that car.
Yeah, they're trying to go for the image that you don't need all that range. Here is a fun, quirky little city car that's easy to drive, fun to drive, does everything that you need to do. It's futuristic enough, but it has enough of the features that people want, modern features. I think it was cool, but I thought the range was a little anemic. You know, there are people that I know that live on that kind of cusp of distance away where, you know, it makes it kind of hard to like drive and see them for a day and drive home.
Yeah, I think 200 would be better, but also it's got that fast charging. It charges to 80% in 30 minutes.
And that's mostly a concern on what the infrastructure is right now. You know, that's a different conversation in 10 years when there's a million, you know, charging stations everywhere.
Well, yeah, but I mean, can't you charge that shit like off of 220?
You can. I don't know the charge times.
Wasn't that?
I think it was in the video. If you guys want to check that out.
Hold on. There's a little. Check the Discord. There's a little chart that Brick's in. Shout out Brick for this.
Let's take a look.
It says rapid boost power to 80% in 30 minutes.
It's really hard to read.
Add a DC rapid charger or recharge at a widely available
30
AC
minute to
80%. Oh, so you do need a fast charger.
But at the same time,
you need the fast charger.
So there was something that was in this video, that video that was shown that was interesting, is that the car has an HDMI port. Like, they literally want you to like do something while you're waiting for your car to charge. Like, do a hobby. Like, spend that time doing something because you're waiting anyway. But as a me who's a massive introvert and like I just want to go the fuck home and I want to be home and I don't want like to wait for my car to charge to like drive even further, that would kind of drive me nuts. Now I understand for like in Japan where to some people their car really is their only retreat, like their only place that is their own, that they're by themselves. And what the Honda E shows is, I think, almost perfect for that. But I'm not Japanese, so I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of Japanese and cars, though, I'm real interested in this next one, and I'm surprised I didn't see this because I stay pretty connected in the Datsun community.
So
I feel, or at least I thought I did.
This is going to bring a trailer. A 21,000 mile 1971 Datsun 240Z Series 1. I don't know what Series 1 means. I'm sure you will tell me.
It has to do with yeah, I'll explain it in a little bit.
It's sold. It's sold for $310,000 US on Bring a Trailer. And fuck, that's a really good looking car, but $310,000?
I mean, yo, can you send me a link to that ad real quick?
Here, I'll put it in Discord for you.
Thank you. Actually, throw it in the YouTube.
All right. It's beautiful.
Let's let everyone.
Can I post links? Can you guys
look
click
at
that?
this?
Is that clickable? Does that work? It's all original. It's unrestored.
Unrestored. Oh, dude. Yeah, no wonder. I mean, it has to be to sell for that much, dude. But that is an insane number for Z.
Like, that's.
Like.
I mean, it's not perfect. It's showing you there's, the paint on the block isn't perfect. Look, the L24 block. I know you like to nut over those or something, right?
Oh, dude, L engines are the pinnacle of human achievement.
Ooh,
so the Series 1...
Does it have all the window sticker? It has the original window sticker. It sold for $3,757 originally in 1971. What's that in today's money?
So it sold for 100 times more than it... Almost 100 times more.
All right, let's try it. It was, what was it? 3,700. What was that number I said? 757?
Yeah.
That was in 1971. So it was, Jesus Christ, when it was new, it was the equivalent of like going out and buying like a Civic Si. $24,000.
Dude, that's cheaper than a Civic Si.
I think SIs are around there. I think they might be a little more. I think they might be like 24.5. But anyway, $310,000. Like, you'd have to be like such a Datsun fan and be rich.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
How can you be rich and a Datsun fan like that, though?
Oh, dude, Adam Carolla's a Datsun fan.
But, like, you spend all your money on your Datsun, don't you? So I don't know how you get rich.
Dude, if you're like,
maybe that's why you buy the mint condition, never touched one.
That's how people buy, and that's the thing, dude. If there was a $310,000 Z, it ticks like every box for a collector. It's a Series 1, which was like 70 and 71. So it's like
it's gorgeous.
Less common.
It's gorgeous.
And yeah, they have like a couple parts are different with like trim and things fit a little different. So that's like, those are already worth like a decent bit more than any other.
Love that.
S30.
Check out all that original orange peel. That lovely Datsun paint, original.
Oh,
so high quality.
Buddy. Dog,
it's amazing
so
the
nice.
condition it's in. I'm amazed.
Yeah, the fact that the paint is in that good condition
and original,
and it has to have had like a cut and polish for sure, but like a cut and polish.
Interior,
and it's been kept
man,
in the garage.
The interior, it's so cool. It's so good. This is like such a good color combo too. It just feels, it's like, oh yeah, this is a 71 Datsun, all right. Oh, look at those old logo Z floor mats, baby.
Dude, so the question is like
I love 240Zs. They're so cool.
with this is obviously like a product of like the JDM bubble. Is there an end to the JDM
No,
bubble? Like,
I think it's been pretty well determined that there is no end, because I think we've been talking about the boomer car bubble for a few decades now, and it's not bursting. Like, it's as big as it's ever
no,
been.
it kind of
It
did,
did a
dude. Like,
little,
they,
but like,
think about the mid 2000s at a Barrett Jackson auction, dude. Anything with a fresh lick of paint from America with a V8 was selling for stupid money, bro. Like tens of thousands
I
of
think
dollars.
there was
And
definitely
now it's the same with like JDM cars,
there was
bro.
definitely the reality show boost of like the mid 2000s, like Pawn Stars and all those other shows. I think people went a little crazy about collectability. There were a million of those shows in the mid to late 2000s.
That's
I
true.
think that was part of that. Um,
But I mean, we're sitting here looking at a $310,000 Z. Like, the point is, like, with those American muscle cars, at a certain point, like the good ones did continue, like ones that are in good condition, that are like actual good collectible cars, did continue to go up.
I mean, I think
But
car
some of the
guys are
shittier
just
ones started to get cheaper.
I
You
think
know?
car guys are just showing that cool cars cost a lot of fucking money. Like, it doesn't matter the brand, it doesn't matter the scene it was
No,
in.
dude, because I
I
mean,
think
this
cool.
is the most expensive Z
I
ever, dude. Like $300,000 Zs did not exist 10 years ago.
No, they obviously didn't. But I think, yeah, outside of muscle, I'll agree with you. Outside of muscle, I don't think that bubble had gotten to that point now. What I'm saying is, I think everything is at this high level now and above. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you look at
I get
like
what
you
you're
look
saying.
at Beetles, like super clean classic Beetles, like those are going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the
Yeah, you're right.
buses are going for crazy numbers, and it's like they made a ton of those, like so many of those, and they're simple pieces of shit. I mean, the older Datsuns, you know why you love that shit. It's garbage that you love.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what it is. And I just think a lot, if anything is cool and sought after like that, I think all of them go up to that number. Like, any rare version of some brand, if it's a brand people are into, if it's a Volkswagen, if it's a Toyota, if it's a Datsun or a Nissan or a Ford or whatever, people with the internet now, they know every single cool obscure car, and all of those, the values are all high now. Everything.
That is true. Like G and X's and stuff are
Like,
crazy.
you have to be into something weird to be into something cheap, or you have to be into something that's just so plentiful that it can't be expensive. So for me, good thing I'm into early water cooled Volkswagens, because they're fucking dirt cheap. They're everywhere.
Are they?
They're so cheap everywhere. They're everywhere. It's probably the most common, like, 5-speed car you can find. Like, you look on, like, Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something, and you just search for manuals. It's like all shitty Volkswagens. Like, they're all so cheap, man. So if you're into shitty Volkswagens, you're great, dude. You can. I mean, I bought my Jetta for $1,200. Like, that's cheap.
That's pretty damn cheap.
Yeah.
I bought my S12 for 18.
LS swap it. Scuba Steve, you have a bus in your backyard. You should save it. They're worth so much restored, man. But
Yeah, dude, you should get that thing
outside
on the
of
road,
that,
bro.
I think if it's a brand that's, popular, and it has an enthusiast community, they've found every gem and every whatever, and they're all cuckoo valued. If you're into a brand that people don't care about as much, you can probably find a lot of weird stuff for reasonable prices for a while now. Like, you're not going to get away with, like, being like, oh, I'm a Buick guy, but I can't find Grand Nationals. It's like, no shit, you can't, dude. You know, but I think everything is just, it's crazy how expensive things are becoming.
Wait, hold up. This dude has a 21 window in his backyard.
Oh my God,
He
Scuba
claims. I
Steve.
think I'm calling.
You
You're full of
can't lie
shit,
on
bro.
the internet, Scuba Steve. And if you're lying on
Come
the
on,
internet,
dude.
I'm gonna get over there.
That's
and beat
illegal,
your ass.
Steve.
You should smash the windows. Don't do that, you psychopath. A 21 window, like, absolute, like, heap, like, something that was to the degree that you would say, take that to the junkyard. A 21 window of those in, like, New England, that's, like, probably still, like, 10 grand, honestly. Like, if I'm fully serious with you, like, the cheapest buses that you can find around here, like the less desirable ones, are usually like 8 grand, and they're derelict. Like, they're awful. A 21 window, you'd be an idiot to smash one of those. Like, you can hate Volkswagen all you want. You'd be a fucking fool to smash one of those.
Yeah, but also this dude's full of shit. He ain't got.
I mean, I agree. Everyone's full of shit over here. But this thing is so clean and so cool, and God, they're so cool, man. Why are 240Zs so cool?
I don't know, dude, but they are. Man, I wish I had bought a 240Z when they were cheap. I really do, because like at this
They
point,
were
like,
cheap for a while. Everything was. We were talking about AW11s were cheap.
No, but dude,
These
I mean,
were
it's
cheaper.
insane. People used to give away 240Zs.
No, they were. But that's because
I know several people that have given away 240Zs.
But that's because everyone thought they were cheap Japanese garbage. Because, I mean, they kind of were cheap Japanese garbage at the time. But over the years of these communities growing and the internet as a whole, I think... knocked my mic there for a second. The internet was a huge portion of it, and obviously in the mid-2000s where there was that big boom, that's when the car forum boom was happening as well. Tommy would agree with me on that one. Car forums were going huge and everything like that too. And as these pools of knowledge, grew more and more, I think people are less scared of air quotes unreliable or air quotes headache brands nowadays in cars in general.
Definitely,
I think people are way more willing to jump into it and go into something that they don't even know anything about, even if everyone says like, oh, don't work on those. Those are so hard. Those are impossible to do. It's like, there's probably a YouTube tutorial video on how to do everything for it at this point.
So buy a car and work on it, and you can hate your life like we do.
That's a good point. It's buy a car and just bust your knuckles and hate everything on it. Tommy is the biggest poser there ever
into
was.
Clinical depression, but by working on the car that you bought.
Yeah,
that's the real moral of the story.
Yeah, but if you do it well enough and you actually just don't drive your car and take care of it, and it happens to be a 1971 Datsun 240Z Series 1, then you can make $310,000. So if you took all those notes, and I'm not repeating them, and I'm erasing the chalkboard right now, I hope you wrote it all down, then you will make $310,000. So this thing was cool. I know you like it.
Oh, I love it, dude. Check the Instagram name.
Oh, I wonder what car brand he likes. There's so many pictures, too. That's like the crazy...
I know, dude. That's what I love about Bring a Trailer. Dude. They just have mad pictures of all the cars.
Hold the phone, though. Like, look at all of the, like... I'm assuming these are markings for saying they were all bolt checked.
Bro, that shit's brand new.
Like, they were all bolt checked, you know?
Dude, there's no dirt underneath this car.
It's crazy.
Beautiful. Absolute work of art.
Yeah, gorgeous. Amazing.
I would buy it and fucking slam it.
You would buy it, slam it on its nuts. What was there on the Reddit
Slam it on some
Reddit
fucking
post?
wide wheels.
On the Reddit post, it was like someone's gonna buy it, put on fender flares, put it on Watanabes, and slam it like right away. Like that's the person who won it. That's what they're gonna do to it.
I mean, I would.
And
I would.
and
I would,
everyone
I
who
would do, like,
commented
the
on
really
it, they were
wide
just like,
flares.
I honestly wouldn't even be that mad because they look so good like that.
I would do like the super wide, like Kaido racer spec flares, and like, I mean, if you're buying a $310,000 car, you can't just put watts on it, dude. You got to get into some wide, obscure Japanese wheels. You need like some 15 by 10, like Hayashi Yayois and shit.
All right, let's
some Devil
so
Japan.
let's say I actually gave you $310,000 to spend on an 240Z and E240Z. $310,000. And you got to get like the most, scene points, I guess. Are you going to
Okay.
you going to buy that or what? Like what are you going to do?
I'm not gonna buy the $310,000 Z. I mean, the prices go down exponentially from there. You can
Totally.
get a stupid nice Z for 60.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm buying a $60,000 Z,
and
I'm getting the OS Geiken TC24B engine.
But like at some point, does the amount of money you put into a car of that caliber become overkill or become almost like a joke, like to the car itself?
I mean,
like I couldn't imagine.
maybe.
I couldn't imagine legitimately like, okay, buy a piece of shit Volkswagen and put $300,000 into it, like.
Oh, you absolutely get diminishing returns, and it is kind of a joke.
But I don't even know what I would
this
spend the
OS
money on, though. Like, I can't even think of where I would spend more.
So, OS Geiken makes the TC24B engine, which is basically the actual peak of human engineering, because it's an L engine with a dual cam head and, like, gear driving from the cranks to the heads. It doesn't have a timing chain. It's got like a gear drive for it, and it runs off like fucking 50 millimeter Solexes, and it makes like 400 horsepower. It's ridiculous.
That's pretty cool.
But it costs like $150. You know what I mean? It's like 150 for an L engine.
But at the same time, you could probably just like pay a shop to build you an L engine that makes that much power for way less money.
Nah, without forced induction.
Oh, because you're NA. All right.
Yeah, it's NA, and it makes like 400 horsepower, dude. Like board and stroke to like.
But that's not even going to be fun.
That's not
even going to be fun to drive.
No, dude, that'd be so fun.
It wouldn't be on roads. It wouldn't be fun to drive
bro.
on the road at all. Because you can't. You would be ringing that shit out. It would be annoying.
No, dude, it's like a 3.5 liter, bro. It's got like mad bottom end.
I'm not buying it. I think,
bro, it's an engine, dude. Go.
No,
I will find the YouTube
we don't need the video. We don't need the video.
10,000 RPM. We need the video.
We don't need the video.
Bro, all right, I'll send it to you after.
So Toyota on face Twitter, that one, yeah. They tweeted this bullshit asking if North America wants another hot hatch, and about the GR Yaris. And my thoughts on that is I don't believe you, Toyota, because that's not like crash or emissions certified in this country at all. And I know you're not going to spend the time and money just to sell like 1,000 of them or something. Like, you're not gonna do that. Never.
I hope they would, dude. The GR Yaris is pretty.
But if they did
cool.
that, then they would have basically be crash and emissions testing their global market Yaris, which they chose to not sell here because it would be too expensive to do that when we could just get the Mexican Mazda 2 as the IA. So it's like they already wouldn't give it to us. So why would this be why they give it to us? A 3-door version at that as well, when the market is showing more and more that nobody's buying 3 doors. So,
well, why would they make the FRS/GT86? You know, it's like,
and they
I
sell
don't
none
think
of
they will
those.
go
But
through
I'm
the
saying
deal
like they're
of-
going to sell even less of
But
these.
that's what I'm saying. It like hot hatches are pretty popular, man. I
But
don't know.
even if they sold as much as those, like is that worth crash testing all of that shit just for that?
No, and that's the thing.
Because like at least with the
crash testing will probably
FRS,
prevent it from
at least with the FRS, it was split development costs with Subaru, and I'm assuming split costs on the testing as well. So effectively, it was halved for them. Whereas if this sold as much, which I would assume it wouldn't because it's going to cost more, so it won't. It's just idiotic for them. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're going to bring it. I'm just entertaining hype.
I mean, it would be cool. I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying I have no clue how they could make that a reality. Is that better?
Yeah.
Does that make more sense?
That makes a ton of sense, dude.
What are the replies? I don't really check Twitter.
Yeah,
It's
what
just a bunch
do
of-
you guys think? What do you?
Some people saying
we got
yeah.
10 dude, we
Some
got
people saying no, yes. All the people who would never buy it. Like, look at all these people like, yeah, I'd never buy it. I'd love to see a lot more small options in the US. Doesn't even say that they want to buy it. Just that they want the option to buy it. Like, this is why. This is why.
Dude.
This is why. And if you check...
This is why cool cars don't get made.
Check
bro.
like any like Facebook or it doesn't matter where. If there's a comment section, a public comment section about anything about cars, like the things people say that they will and will not buy, they're fucking insane. They have no clue. They're like,
Well, it's
oh
like
yes,
the Supra, dude. Like Toyota, people are like, Toyota fucked up by not making the Supra 2JZ, but it's like everybody that 2JZ in a new Supra would not.
and literally
buy that
like
shit,
everyone
you know?
who bought the Supra is loving it.
Yeah, and
Meanwhile,
the people
everyone
that did buy
ripped.
the Supra probably wouldn't buy it if it had a 30-year-old.
Meanwhile,
engine.
everyone was ripping their dick off about the Kia Stinger and how it was going to make Kia legit and they were going to kill the German brands. And I haven't fucking heard anyone talking about the Kia Stinger since it came out.
I think I've seen one.
I've seen a few. I think they looked nice. I don't dislike them. I think
They don't stand out.
at this
for
point,
sure,
I'm
'cause
sure
I think I've seen
at this
one.
point, I'm sure there are some stupidly good used deals out there, and look around if you're in that price point.
Look around,
Because
dude.
I don't
for a
know.
Kia Stinger.
I mean, I'm kind of at the point where most brands kind of make good shit. I mean, who like
Yeah, you're probably, well, not at the same time, like, there are some, like, shitty cars that come out, dude, like, Ford had all those head gasket problems
there
with their
totally are
EcoBoost.
shitty cars, and that's why I said most. I don't even know if most is correct. I think in certain segments and price points, there are just so many different cars that fit you that are different brands, like just crazy different brands. And they're all good. Like, most modern shit is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, most stuff you can expect that you're going to get probably 150, if not 200,000 miles out of it. And it's definitely going to be no issue for, like, the first 100. Like, that's crazy. Like, you don't even have to do shit to cars for 100,000 miles.
Yeah, you really don't, dude. You really don't.
Nissan's
That's insane, man,
bad.
'cause I have to
Nissan's bad right now.
I have to do something to my car every 100 miles.
Electric stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's just most companies.
This was kind of an electric podcast.
It was, and I wasn't trying to make it an electric podcast, and I don't.
That's just kind of what the car
I don't
news
say
is
that
these days.
because I dislike electrics, and I don't say that because I like electrics. I like cars, and I think that they're right now just the most exciting thing going on. I mean, we're one of the. I'm not sure if you guys ever check out Drive Tribe or any of the stuff they post on there. I know there was a lot of sour stuff earlier on in Drive Tribe, but the videos they put on YouTube are pretty funny. And Richard Hammond finally got his new Morgan, and the thing's fucking sick. It sounds awesome. It's super fast. It's a really cool car. You guys should check out that video, and that's on DriveTribe. And one of the points that he made on kind of why he went that route and went for the Morgan and, you know, spent all that money on it is that he's pretty sure that it's like the last gas car or petrol car that he will buy new. It's probably the last one for him. Because, I mean, people don't buy new cars all that time. So, like, right now, a lot of these, if someone buys a new car and it's a gas car, you know, and the average car is like 11 years old right now, your next car is probably electric, or at least it's probably something different than now. Well, I'll say that much. If you're in that, you know, higher, like you're buying new vehicles, obviously the used market is something else, and that's, you know, a more unpredictable beast. But if you're in the new market, you know, if you buy a car in 2020, that's the gas car, your next one probably isn't. I think that's true though. I think that's kind of true.
Yeah, I can't argue
Because like
dude.
we're about to get an avalanche of them in the next 2 to 3 years. By like 2024 or something, there are going to be so many options from so many brands, and it'll be, you know, from now 4 more years of advancement in the infrastructure, 4 more years of the brands figuring certain things out and the market adjusting and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
I hate to say it as a car guy, but I don't really hate to say it as a car guy. But a lot of the most exciting news is EV stuff nowadays.
Yeah, but also race season hasn't really
kicked off too crazy yet. That's a good point. We'll get to more racing stuff when that kicks off a little bit more. I do have to say, though,
as an ode to the gasoline engine, you should play this video at full volume.
So, I do have to say, though, that something I see a ton in the car community, and you still see it today, and especially with electric cars taking off, is there really is a huge amount of people that are very much against the idea of electric cars and how they're, you know, people feel like it's taking away the thing that they love, you know, and that's something that people get defensive about, obviously. I'm not on either side. I just think that all like the fucking, like the dumb fucking jokes you'll see that people throw out, like they throw shade at people who want like electric cars, or, you know, then you got like the Tesla fanboys, or just like the bad shade jokes they throw at everyone else. It's like, do you really just think that like everyone is just like a prissy like Starbucks chugging bitch who wants an electric car? Like, regular people want electric cars. Your mom probably fucking wants one. Like, calm down, dude. Like, you're talking about a car on the internet. Like, chill out a little bit. People get crazy. Like, we still hear Prius jokes today. It's like, that's been like a decade old. Like, come on.
Yeah, Prius jokes are kind of corny now. But also, everything's corny in 2020, dude. Like, everything's played out.
Can you dedicate the next 5 minutes to Kobe and your favorite Kobe memory? I'm not going to dedicate the next 5 minutes to Kobe because I feel like we're going to be done within 5 minutes. My favorite Kobe memory, I honestly can't give you one. I can't think of any one specific Kobe memory. I've never been a big basketball fan. So what I've seen of him is what I've seen. I've seen, you know, a good deal of him, but I can't think of a specific memory, if I'm honest with you. Real sad shit, though.
Real sad shit. I was kind of into basketball when I was younger, and I always kind of rooted against Kobe, but, like, you know,
I think there's always,
you can't deny the greatness. He was a great fucking player,
I think
sure.
I definitely had that being a Boston fan, obviously, because you all hate me. But being a Boston fan, you definitely kind of root for others to not win too. But, you know, Kobe always was a winner, and that was just who he fucking was. And yeah, you know, even for me when I don't pay attention to the sport and I don't really like, he was not a hero of mine. I never really thought of him much. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, it doesn't feel right. It totally doesn't.
Man,
And like, and this is
when
somebody
great, you gotta recognize
exactly.
they're great,
And
man.
that's
rest in peace to Kobe
that's his
Bryant.
impact.
Rest in peace to everybody else killed in the helicopter
I
crash.
didn't say I was happy he's dead. Oh my god, jumping to conclusions, dude. No, I'm saying he had this
dude.
impact.
Absolutely
I'm saying he had this
not.
impact on me when I didn't even really think of him that much, and that really just kind of shows like how much of a world hero he kind of was to a lot of people. So, R.I.P. Kobe, and to send you off, Kobe, we're gonna get a OS Geiken tribute to you, Kobe.
Kobe.
Oh shit, son.
Dude, it's not even playing. Oh wait, no, I have the YouTube stream.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah.
Oh, Kobe would have loved that. Kobe would have loved that. No, I thought it sounded like poop until they did the full rev, and then I was like, all right, I'm sold. It's,
yeah, I told you.
To
dude,
be
worth
fair,
every
though,
penny, worth every
it's really hard to hate anything that can approach or pass 10,000 RPM. It just is.
Yeah, dude.
It's like the beauty
once
zone.
Once you get into 5 digits, bro, it's
beautiful. So, everyone, thank you all for watching. Corn, my boy, thank you so much for being my co-host. I think we had a good time.
Yes.
We hit some topics. We were still kind of shit.
We were less shit.
We worked it. We're going to work it some more. My friend who said he would help me design some shit didn't. So I'm going to hound him about that. So hopefully we can make it look a little better. But everyone, thank you very much. Have a great dank evening. Drink water. Yeah, go to sleep. If you need to, talk to somebody about your problems, all that stuff,
Keep it rubber side down.
Rubber side down?
And, yeah, like don't flip your car.
Oh, I've never heard that. Rubber side down.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard that.
And just remember, it rolls down. You can't roll condoms the other way. Don't do that. You should try again if you do that. So everyone, have a good night. Corn, thank you. R.I.P. Kobe.
Thank you, sir. R.I.P. Kobe.
Everyone, have a great one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.